Hi, welcome to Soul Stream Media. I'm Stacy Oliver. I'm here interviewing Arielle Ford and Brian Hilliard. Arielle has written 11 books, including the international bestseller, The Soulmate Secret, How to Manifest the Love of Your Life Using the Law of Attraction. Arielle, tell us, what is love?
Well, I can tell you what it's not.
Wonderful. Most of us probably think it is
so
what
most
it's
people
not.
really believe love is a feeling. And while there are feelings to love, the truth is love is a behavior. Love is a choice. Love is a decision. Love is an action. Love is a way of being. And you can love your soulmate, and there will still be moments, weeks, or days when you hate their guts. So love is not just a feeling. And the experience that people have when they say that they're in love is actually nature's trick to get us to procreate. It's the world's greatest drug high. Your brain is just showering us with oxytocin and adrenaline and all kinds of hormones I can't even pronounce. And what I like to say about it is that being in love is the socially acceptable form of insanity, but it is not love.
Yeah, it's chemistry.
It's chemistry.
That's the chemistry.
It's fabulous chemistry, and it wears off. It generally lasts between 6 months and 3 years. And then if you're lucky and if you've chosen correctly, then you go to what's a really deeper, more mature, intimate love that is ultimately much more satisfying because it's about connection and communication and having a shared vision for the future and getting to spend your life with your best friend and your lover and your biggest cheerleader and your safe place to land.
And therein lies, in your book, you talk about the health benefits of marriage. I would sense that that's where the health benefits come from, in this mature,
so
supportive.
So researchers have found that happily married people live longer, lead healthier lives. When they do get sick, they experience less pain and they heal faster. So people who are happily married do get to live longer. And the sad thing for all you single men out there, single men die 7 years shorter time than married men.
Now let's talk about happily ever after. So to me, that would take two happy people. Is that true?
Yes, for the most part. Your partner is not there to make you happy. You know, generally you need to be a happy person, and then your soulmate is the icing on the cake. But if you're a miserable person and you meet somebody and you have some hot chemistry for a time, the chemistry is going to wear off and you're going to go back to being miserable again.
We have an equation: 1 + 1 = 11.
What is
Brian
the
made that
11?
up.
1 + 1 = 11. What
it's
is
amplified.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
The partnership amplifies everything. The love amplifies the love and the relationship and the bond.
Right.
So it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's
1 + 1 = 11.
This is Brian's
I love
soulmate
that.
math.
I love that soulmate math right here in La Jolla with Arielle Ford and Brian Hilliard. Okay, so I want to, so when we're happy, so speaking of happily ever after, and you're saying we become happy ourselves, and then is that part of the law of attraction that would bring in our soulmate?
Well, let me do a Law of Attraction 101 real fast, because a lot of people don't really understand what it is. So the Law of Attraction states we draw to us the people, places, and experiences that match our state of being. So if your state of being is I'm loved, I'm lovable, I'm lucky in love, your life will reflect that. If your state of being is I'm unlucky in love, I'm a loser when it comes to love, it's for everybody else but me, that too will be what your life looks like. So what you want to do is vibrate at the frequency of love. And that's something you can do on your own. And then when you attract in a partner, it gets totally amplified and explodes, because when you can look into your partner's eyes and you can see how much love they have for you, then you love yourself so much more.
Right. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay, let's talk
about that.
Okay, because single spiritual women have the hardest time finding love. And I'm going to say something you're going to hate me for.
That's okay. I'm ready. Bring it on.
Okay, because they experience a level of spiritual arrogance.
Oh,
they
yes.
think because they're going to a Unity church or reading Deepak Chopra or Marianne Williamson that somehow they're living a spiritual path. And they're drinking green drinks and they're going to hot yoga and soul cycle.
She just
and they're
described me.
right? And none of that is spiritual. None of that is spiritual.
That's external.
What's spiritual is, are you living from your heart, from a place of compassion? Can you see that the person in front of you is wounded and love them just like you would love a child who skinned his knee?
But I wanted to have.
Let's talk about the difference between men and women. Okay, so the life that you're living, you consider your spiritual life, and it works for you. It fills you up. I'm not saying you should ever change, but if you're going to manifest in a new soulmate, you absolutely do not want a spiritual man. What you want is a conscious man.
Yes.
And a conscious man.
Yes.
Thank
you for differentiating.
Okay.
Spiritual
acts and conscious. A conscious man is a man who lives his life on purpose. Yes. So he could even be an atheist, but if he's volunteering for Big Brothers, if he finds solace walking through nature, if he wants to carry your bags and make sure that you're happy, this is what you need more than somebody who's going to sit and read A Course in Miracles with you. I'm sure you've got more to say about this.
You want to find a man who's devoted to you, and that doesn't always come with yoga or any of those other practices.
Okay, let's think about why you and I might have gone on the spiritual growth path. We didn't go there because we were happy, because we had wonderful childhood, because we didn't have insecurities. We went there to heal ourselves. But there are actually men in the world that had happy childhoods. You're looking at one.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Who never needed therapy.
Not a lot of baggage. Right. I keep saying that with someone I've met. He just doesn't have a lot of baggage. I'm like, I almost don't know how to deal with it. So tell me, I want to bounce over to your other book, Turning Your Mate into Your Soulmate. How to turn your mate into your soulmate. Tell us a little bit about that, because I did read that when I was in bed with my mate, my soulmate, and even when I was terribly in love, there was nothing wrong. And I was just, I'm always reading.
So I was 44 when I finally got married, and I had never lived with anybody, and we get married, we start living together. And suddenly, I'm discovering things that I don't like about myself. For instance, one day I was standing in front of him and my hand was on my hip and my finger was doing this. I can't tell you what it was about at the time, but I caught myself being like a total bitch. And I said to him, I said, unfortunately, this could happen again. And the next time it happens, could you just kindly, gently say to me, when did Sheila enter the room? Now, Sheila's my mother's name, and I love my mother, but my mother can be a very bossy, overbearing person, as can I. And he was so great. He got it instantly, and he just said, yes, and when I get too patronizing, you can call me Wayne. That was his father's name. And in an instant, we averted World War III.
And it's the laughter, because when you have these nicknames or code, and it really does help.
He could have just said to me, you're being really bossy.
Yeah.
Which would have just made me defensive.
Right.
So that's, so I wrote Turn Your Mate into Your Soulmate as the book I wish I had read before I'd gotten married, because there's so much I didn't know, because what I discovered was that I had no partnership skills at all. And the thing that I was best at was being the boss, which is not good when you're married to an alpha male.
Yeah, many of your women friends called too and said, how do I turn my John or my Bill into my soulmate?
Right.
And that sparked a lot
Yes.
of
I love
creativity
that.
for
Yeah, so people
actually,
are
it was
wanting
Lisa
that.
Sharkey who asked me that.
And then,
she's famous. No, my friend's a VP at HarperCollins, and she was the one who said to me after Soulmate Secret came out, she was interviewing me for their channel, and she said after it was over, well, I wish you could tell me how to turn my mate into my soulmate. And I was like, oh my God, that's a title. So the book is dedicated to her. It's not a secret.
And in that brings me to wanting to ask about how you suggest, Arielle suggests, that we look at our partners with rose-colored glasses on. Now, I tend to idealize people, which I know is a little bit different. Rose-colored glasses, as opposed to I used to put people on pedestals and idealize them, and then I would get so angry when they did not live out my, expectations. So, which is different than explain the rose-colored glasses.
So there was a study done at the University of Buffalo years ago, where they studied couples who consciously choose to wear rose-colored glasses. And what they discovered is these couples have longer, happier, more satisfying marriages because they're always looking for what's right instead of looking for what's wrong.
Beautiful. Yeah, and we had a practice every New Year's Eve. We would sit, and I don't remember, this could be a Harville Hendrix, you could tell me. We'd sit knee to knee, but we would write what we loved, what we fell in love with the other person. With Mark would write all of, you know, the qualities, why he was attracted to me, what he loved about me, and then we would sit knee to knee and we would share it. We would read our list, and I love this about you and this, and then the other person is to say, to receive it, I acknowledge I have these gifts, and receive it. It was so beautiful. I mean, we would cry every year. So I don't regret the 7 years I was with him, and it was really, I have been able to experience, really, I truly did experience what you and Brian have with my third husband. So for 7 years, and then people, like you said, things come up, and we're kind of powerless.
Well, we're all very imperfect. You know, my favorite quote is by Sam Keen, who said, "We come to love, not to love a perfect person. We come to love, to learn to love an imperfect person perfectly."
Beautiful. So it really comes down to unconditional love.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. Wonderful.
Those earlier relationships were your training wheels.
Absolutely.
Starter marriages.
Starter marriages. They're good.
The third one, the 7 year, that really felt like I guess it was still a Kickstarter marriage, but I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
Not giving up. And is there anything else you'd like to share with the women out there seeking their soulmate, the men?
You know,
wondering, is there someone out there
well,
for me?
I mean, here's a couple things I know for sure. There's 7.3 billion people alive on the planet right now. Half of them are single. There's absolutely no shortage of potential soulmates for anybody out there. The second thing I know is that the greatest gift of COVID has been for single people, because online dating and video chatting is just the best way to get to know somebody before you meet them in person. And I have a free online dating guide on my website. It's a pop-up. So if you go to soulmatesecret.com, it pops up.
Perfect.
And it's a free dating guide on how and why online dating at this time is the greatest, and exactly how to do it, like everything you need to know.
Step by step.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Arielle and Brian, thank you so much. Tune in, keep tuning in to Soulstream Media for information for your soul. Go to thesoulmatesecret.com.
Just soulmatesecret.com.
Soulmatesecret.com. Soulmatesecret.com for your dating guide.